Hello everyone, welcome back to Miss J Free English Learning channel. And if you are new here, I want to tell you something very important. This channel has effective English lessons made for everyone. Our lessons help you improve your English every day and help you feel and speak confidently. Today we will be covering English shadowing, train your ears, mind and mouth. Today we dive into learning how to use English in daily lives, focusing on vocabulary and pronunciation. Will my help? You will train your help to listen and respond in English without hesitation. Before we continue, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on these amazing lessons. So, get comfortable, take a deep breath and let's begin. Listen to my voice as I talk to train your mind to listen to English and train your ears to hear natural English phrases. It is a Tuesday morning, and outside, the sky is just beginning to turn from dark blue to soft gray. Inside Emma's bedroom, everything is still quiet and still. Then, suddenly, at exactly 6:30, Emma's alarm clock begins to ring. It is not a loud, aggressive sound. It is a gentle, rising beeping noise that gets a little louder every few seconds. Almost as if it is trying to wake her up slowly and kindly rather than shocking her out of her sleep. Emma hears the alarm, but at first, she does not open her eyes. She is lying on her side, with her face half buried in her pillow, and for a moment she simply lets the sound continue while her brain slowly wakes up. Then, without really thinking about it, she reaches one arm out from under the warm duvet and gently taps the top of the alarm clock to press the snooze button. The room goes quiet again. She tells herself, just 5 more minutes, and she closes her eyes once more. 5 minutes later, the alarm rings again. This time, Emma knows that she really has to get up. She opens her eyes slowly and looks up at the ceiling. For a few seconds, she just lies there, feeling the softness of her mattress and the warmth of the blanket around her body. Then she takes a long, deep breath and lets out a big yawn. She raises both arms above her head and stretches her whole body. First her arms, then her legs, and finally her back. The way a cat stretches when it wakes up from a nap. Let's listen to that sentence again. A little more slowly, she raises both arms above her head. And she stretches her whole body. After stretching, Emma pushes the duvet back with both hands and sits up in bed. The room is a little cold this morning, so when her feet touch the wooden floor for the first time, she feels a small shiver run up her legs. She sits on the edge of the bed for a moment, rubbing her eyes with the back of her hands, trying to fully wake up. Her hair is messy from sleeping, and a few strands fall in front of her face. Slowly, Emma stands up. She walks over to the window and pulls back the curtains to let the morning light into the room. She looks outside for a few seconds, checking the sky and the street below. It looks calm and dry outside, with just a few clouds, so she decides that later she will probably walk to the grocery store instead of driving. Since the weather seems mild and pleasant now that she is awake and standing, Emma slips her feet into a pair of soft slippers that are waiting beside her bed. And she walks out of the bedroom and down the short hallway toward the bathroom. Ready to begin the next part of her morning. The bathroom is small but bright, with white tiles on the walls and a large mirror above the sink. Emma walks in, turns on the light, and immediately reaches over to start the shower. She turns the handle, and after a few seconds, steam begins to rise gently from the water as it warms up. While she waits for the water to reach the right temperature, she takes off her pajamas and hangs them on a hook on the back of the bathroom door. Once the water feels warm enough, not too hot and not too cold, Emma steps into the shower and pulls the curtain closed behind her. She stands under the water for a moment, letting it run over her hair and shoulders, and she closes her eyes, enjoying the feeling of the warm water waking up her body completely. Next, she reaches for the bottle of shampoo on the little shelf in the shower. She pours a small amount into the palm of her hand, and then she rubs her hands together before massaging the shampoo into her hair, working it into a soft, foamy lather from the roots to the ends. She takes her time with this, gently rubbing her scalp with her fingertips, because she finds this part of her morning quite relaxing. After a minute or so, she tips her head back and lets the water rinse all of the shampoo out of her hair. After rinsing her hair, Emma picks up a bar of soap and begins washing her body. She washes her arms first, then her shoulders, her chest, her stomach, and then she moves down to wash her legs and feet. She makes sure to clean every part carefully, creating a light lather of soap and bubbles all over her skin. And then she rinses everything off under the warm water until the soap is completely gone. Once she feels completely clean, Emma turns off the shower. She pulls back the curtain and steps out onto the bath mat, and immediately reaches for a large, soft towel hanging on the rail. She wraps the towel around her body first, tucking it under her arm to keep it in place, and then she uses a smaller towel to dry her hair, rubbing it gently to remove the extra water, standing in front of the mirror, which is now slightly covered in steam. Emma wipes it clean with her hand so that she can see her reflection clearly. She feels fresh, clean, and much more awake than she did just 10 minutes earlier. Washing in the morning always seems to help her feel ready to start the day. With the towel still wrapped around her body, Emma turns her attention to the sink. She picks up her toothbrush, which is sitting in a small cup next to the tap, and she picks up the tube of toothpaste beside it. She unscrews the cap, squeezes a small amount of white toothpaste onto the bristles of the toothbrush, and puts the cap back on. She turns on the tap briefly to wet the toothbrush, and then she begins to brush her teeth. She starts with her upper teeth, moving the brush in small, gentle, circular motions, cleaning the front surfaces first, then the back surfaces, and then the chewing surfaces on top. After about a minute, she moves down to her lower teeth and repeats the same careful process, making sure not to miss any area. While she brushes, Emma looks at herself in the mirror. This is something she does almost automatically every single day, without really thinking about it. After brushing for a full 2 minutes, which is the amount of time dentists usually recommend, she spits into the sink and rinses her mouth thoroughly with a small cup of water, swishing it around before spitting it out again. Some mornings, Emma also uses a small bottle of mouthwash to make her breath extra fresh, and today is one of those mornings. She pours a small amount into the cap of the bottle, swishes it around in her mouth for about 30 seconds, and then spits it out into the sink. Finally, she takes a piece of dental floss and gently cleans between her teeth, removing any small pieces of food that might be stuck there from the night before. Let's repeat that important part again. A little more slowly. She brushes her upper teeth first, and then she brushes her lower teeth. Once her teeth feel clean and smooth, Emma smiles at herself in the mirror, checking that everything looks good. And then she picks up a hairbrush and runs it through her damp hair a few times to remove any tangles. She is now ready to leave the bathroom and get dressed for the day. Back in her bedroom, Emma drops the towel and opens the doors of her large wooden wardrobe, where all of her clothes are hanging neatly or folded on shelves. She stands there for a moment, thinking about the weather she saw outside earlier, and deciding what would be comfortable and appropriate to wear today. First, she opens a drawer and takes out a clean pair of underwear and a matching pair of socks, and she puts these on first. Next, she chooses a soft, light blue blouse from the hangers in her wardrobe, and she puts her arms through the sleeves one at a time before doing up the small buttons from the bottom to the top. After the blouse, she picks out a pair of dark trousers, and she steps into them one leg at a time, then pulls them up and fastens the button and zipper at the front, because the morning air still feels a little cool. Emma also decides to wear a light gray cardigan over her blouse. She slides her arms into the sleeves and adjusts it comfortably on her shoulders. She looks down at herself, smooths the front of her trousers with her hands, and feels satisfied with her outfit for the day. Next, Emma sits on the edge of her bed and picks up a pair of comfortable shoes from the floor beside her wardrobe. She puts her right foot in first, then her left, and she bends down to tie the laces of each shoe into a neat bow, making sure they are tight enough to be comfortable for walking to the store later. Before leaving her bedroom, Emma walks over to the mirror one more time. She checks her reflection from top to bottom, adjusting the collar of her blouse and smoothing down a few loose hairs. She picks up a simple silver watch from her dresser and fastens it around her left wrist, and she also puts on a pair of small earrings. Now, fully dressed and looking neat and comfortable, Emma feels completely ready to begin the rest of her morning.